So we will start in a comfortable seated position on your mat, Sukhasana. And we'll take the first few minutes just to settle in. Allow yourself to come into this present moment and settle onto your mat. Not just your physical body, but also your mind. So maybe close the eyes or lower your gaze beyond the tip of your nose as you try to filter out everything else beyond what's happening right here at this moment on your mat. We'll stay here for a few moments and begin to take deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. See if you can slow the breath down. And with each new cycle of breath, see if you can elongate it. Feel the breath as it expands the ribs, the belly rises. And then as you exhale, see if you can let all of it go so that there's a slight contraction in the core. Notice where your thoughts go. See if you can bring it back to your breath. We'll do 2 more rounds of breath here. Maybe creating that ocean sounding breath by constricting the muscles in the throat. Seeing if you can actually hear both the inhalation and the exhalation. And at the end of your last exhalation, slowly make your way into a child's pose. So you can either roll over the knees, and then yogi's choice for big toes touching and either bringing the knees wide, maybe as wide as the mat, or maybe bringing these a little bit closer and just feeling how that feels in your body today. Lowering forearms and hands towards the earth, melting forehead to mat. Sending your seat back towards your heels. Continue with your slow, steady breaths. And in our yin practice, we'll hold poses longer than you're used to holding them. So in our 30-minute class, we'll hold poses for about 2 to 2.5 minutes. But in a full hour to 75-minute yin class, know that the poses would be held up to 7 minutes at a time. So it's very different than our flow-based practice. Continue deep breathing. And sometimes it's nice just to bring some slowness and calmness into our life. We have the hustle and bustle of everyday living. But when we practice yin, we give ourselves permission to just slow down. And do nothing. So there's less active work in the yin. And instead, we're working on strength and flexibility through passive movements. 2 more rounds of breath here. Last breath. And when that comes to a close, you're always welcome to stay if something feels good and you're comfortable in a position. But if you're ready to move, begin to slither the hands forward, positioning your hips right over your knees, moving into a puppy pose. So imagining as if your armpits could touch the earth. And your seat is up high. Maybe forehead comes towards the earth. Or if it feels safe and good to you in your neck, maybe chin comes towards the mat. Wherever you are, we're going to be here for another several breaths. So you want to find your edge and somewhere where you can hold the pose without straining, without forcing, with minimal effort. So maybe you ease your way into a deeper expression of the pose over time. Where's the breath? Where is your mind? What kind of thoughts are running through the mind now? Are they serving you? One more full cycle of breath. And then in your own time, making your way to a Sphinx position. So belly comes towards the earth. Maybe the feet are hips distance apart, or maybe each foot finds its own corner at the back of the mat. Shoulders are above your elbows, and your arms look like a number 11 with your palms facing down. With each inhale, you're pushing belly as you breathe in towards the earth. And then as you exhale, finding a little bit more of a back bend. Crown of head is reaching towards the ceiling. You're pushing up out of your shoulders. Active in the forearms. Maybe imagining pulling the forearms towards your body. So your arms don't actually move, your elbows don't move, but that active energy may feel good to have a neutral neck here, or it may feel good to close your eyes and maybe allow the chin to drop towards the chest. Maybe drawing arch shapes as you bring chin towards right elbow or right shoulder, back towards center, and then chin to left shoulder. So your choice. for stillness or movement, using your body as your guide, as your teacher. If you're finding any tenderness in the low back, any discomfort, some discomfort may be good. We're looking for compression here in our yin practice. But any pain or sharp shooting sensations, then maybe back out of it. Maybe walk your elbows forward a little bit. Last round of breath. And then we'll lower our torso towards the earth. Walk your hands out outside of your mat so they're in a goalpost position. And then we'll rest our left cheek towards the earth, gazing to the right. And then slide your right knee up towards the right elbow. It's not going to touch. You want basically a 90-degree angle and a half frog here. I'll be here for just a moment. And then slowly bringing right foot back towards the back of the mat. Coming back onto our forearms. And we'll move into a seal pose next. So a little bit more of a back bend. If it's too intense for you, then option to stay in Sphinx as we just completed. But if it feels available to you and you feel like you want to challenge or work on flexibility here, you begin to straighten out through the forearms. Lift the forearms and straighten through the arms. Into seal. And again, finding where the pose welcomes you to stay for 8 rounds of breath. If you're shaking, holding your breath, maybe that's your body telling you to back out. So maybe walk your hands forward just a bit more. Or maybe find a slight bend in the elbows. Wherever you are, continue to breathe. And turn your focus inward. Your eyes can remain closed if you like. And as we stay in these positions, this compression helps to release the tendons, the joints, the fascia. To improve our strength, our joint strength and flexibility. Two more rounds of breath. Inhale. Exhale. And last breath. On your exhale, again, lowering belly towards the earth. Hands come out into our goalpost position. This time our right cheek comes towards the earth. And then we'll slide our left knee up towards left elbow, finding that half frog again. So just a counter pose. Bring back the circulation. And then you'll slowly make your way up through a tabletop to a seated position, legs extended out in front of you. And then we'll take our left leg long and we'll cross our right leg over the left so that the blade edge of right foot is on the mat. So blade edge of right foot on the earth. Left leg extended long, your foot is flexed. We're moving into a half shoelace position here. A little bit of hip and glute opening. So from here, you can slowly begin to crawl your hands forward towards your left foot. And again, we'll be here for several rounds of breath. So resist the urge to go to your maximum depth. Be gentle and kind to your body. And incrementally work your way down with each new cycle of breath. Also feeling a stretch maybe in the back of left leg. Just scan your body as you continue to breathe. Notice if there's tension anywhere. What can you do to release that? Maybe it's in the shoulders, maybe the neck. So in Yin, we give ourselves permission to round forward, to let go. Maybe chin drops towards right knee. Couple more rounds of breath here. And then option to stay here as you are, or slowly make your way back up to a seated position, and we'll open our shoulders with cow face arms. So option to bring right hand towards the sky and then lower right hand to the middle of your upper back. Elbow pointed towards the ceiling. Option to stay here, or option to take left hand and see if maybe your fingertips can intertwine, maybe tickle the fingertips of each hand together, broadening through the collarbones, crown of head towards the ceiling. And where's your breath? End of your next exhalation. If you had the cow face arms, unwind the hands, allow them to fall towards the earth. And then we'll just move into half shoelace other side. So slowly making your way there, never rushing. This time crossing left foot over right. Blade edge of left foot towards the earth. Right foot is flexed. Find your length. And slowly crawling hands to frame the right foot. Allowing forehead, jaw, shoulders to relax. Release the neck. And continue to breathe. And then maybe finding over time that your body just naturally enters the pose in a deeper expression. Gravity do the work. Option to stay as you are, or again, slowly crawl your hands towards your body, moving towards cow face arms on the other side. So this time, left hand comes to the middle of our upper back. And then maybe we stay here, or maybe we reach behind with our right hand. And it's okay if the hands don't touch. Just imagine that energy. Imagine they were touching. It's a good place for a strap or a towel if you have it. See if you can roll the right shoulder back, open through the collarbones. Send left elbow up towards the ceiling. Notice this neck is craning. See if you can send the crown of head up. And we're here for a few breaths. And then at the end of your last exhalation, slowly make your way out of it. Again, if anything feels good, feel free to stay in any pose that you like today. And then from here, we'll move into a sitting swan. So in our vinyasa practice, you know this as a figure 4, seated. We'll cross our right ankle over left knee. Hands come behind your hips, fingers pointing in the same direction as your toes. And maybe this is enough for you here. So option to stay here, really pushing chest, our heart center up towards the ceiling, rolling shoulders down and up. And imagine that energy of right knee, pushing right knee away from your body. And then release, and we'll take it to the other side. Left ankle crosses over right. Coming up out of your shoulders, lifting through the heart center. Drawing shoulder blades together. Pushing left knee away from the body. And then release. And then this time we'll bring your soles of the feet together, moving into butterfly or Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet come together, the knees drop open. Option to stay here, or option to begin to crawl the hands forward. Let's lift our palms off of the earth, so just your fingertips are touching the earth. And then we'll roll the tops of our hands down towards the earth. So a little bit of stretch here, a little flexion in our wrists. Just finding maybe the comfort zone for you. So no forceful movements, but just enough that you feel that stretch. And the farther the heels are away from your body, the softer the pose is. If you want to intensify the opening in the hips, you draw the heels in closer to the body. So lots of choices. And then if you had the wrist stretch here, you can slowly lift the hands, maybe circle in one direction and then the other. And then you can do another stretch with the wrists here. You can turn the palms of the hands away from the body, the fingertips touching the earth. And again, just ever so slightly pushing forward to get that stretch, that extension in your wrists. Option to stay here for a few breaths. One more round. And at the end of that exhalation, lifting fingertips, maybe drawing the knees together, and then again rolling the wrists in both directions just to get that circulation back. From here, we'll begin to slowly roll our way back down towards the earth, drawing knees into chest, shins parallel with the ceiling. Open the arms up into a T or maybe cactus arms, whichever feels most inviting to you now. Inhale. And then on the exhale, allow the knees to fall towards the right. Gaze is to the left or up towards the ceiling. Finding a reclined twist. The in-breath draws the knees back to center. And the out-breath sends the knees over towards your left. Gaze is either up or towards your right. Inhale, knees come back towards center. Give yourself a tight squeeze, wrapping forearms around the shins. Maybe lifting the shoulder girdle, head off of the floor, bringing forehead towards knees. Squeeze, 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 compress everything in, point the toes. And then exhale, let everything go. Finding your way to your Shavasana, whatever that means to you. I'll guide some options. You can create the shape of a star. Maybe hands come along the sides of the body, palms facing up to receive, palms facing down to ground. The feet splay to opposite sides of the room. Maybe hands rest on belly. Connect with the breath. Maybe left hand to heart. And the eyes are closed. Notice the breath. Anytime your mind wanders, can you come back to your breath? Scanning the body from the crown of the head all the way to the toes. Where can you release any energy, any activity? Inviting movement back into the body by taking a deep breath. Maybe making a fist and then releasing. Rolling onto your favorite side. And then slowly making your way up to a seated position, meeting me back in Sukhasana as we started our practice. Drawing hands to heart center, allowing the eyes to stay closed. We bring our thumbs to touch our forehead to invite kind thoughts. And thumbs to our lips to cultivate kind words. And then thumbs back to our heart center to invite compassion and gratitude. Thank yourselves for showing up to this practice today, for doing something good for yourself. The light in me sees and honors the light in each of you. Namaste.